Well, hello everybody, and welcome to the L.O.V is the message Legacy Hour. We are running just a little bit behind. Lots of problems with the internet. We're here in Florida, obviously. We're dealing with this little problem. I hope that you will catch this. Will be recorded. I'm recording this segment right now, and I would just like to welcome you and to ask you to please stand by for any problems that we have. We'll definitely have Ernie Lombardi, a terrific guy, wonderful friend and a technician, and he's doing the best that he can. One of the reasons that we are trying to help a lot of people in getting in this radio show to have their own radio show is so they can update their gear and understand that what we have here is a 320 high definition radio stereo, and it needs a lot bandwidth, a lot of it. And so in order to come out with the right sound and smooth, and you can appreciate that. So I'm doing the best that I can to keep up this, and with the help of just a few friends, obviously, and everybody who's been helping me so far. Thank you. We started today with a bang, man. We started with Billy Spagna playing Latin, all kinds of different Latin music, which is fantastic, and that's how you should start the day, happy. And I just asked him before. I called him up and say, "Thank you, Billy. You did a great job. Next week we're gonna start his show, at noon. I want him to do from 12 o'clock to 2 p.m. in order for him to enjoy, what he's doing, and for all of us to enjoy what he's doing. And at 2 p.m. to 3, our friend Al Magliano with his Disco Sundays, which he had a little problem because he was using his cell phone, and cell phones are not good to do this kind of stuff. It may be good to do a port transmission on Facebook. Really, that's what it's good for. But you need a little bit more bandwidth, and I feel bad that Al was struggling trying to keep up this. But he is a trooper, he's a professional, and I'm sure he'll understand that. And remember that today we have an incredible shows like Danny Pucciarelli. He's got the show Brain Vinyl for Your Brain. That's what it's calling. And then we also have Richie Rich. Incredible. You need to tune into this tea dance tonight. I'm freaking believable. He's going to have two other shows adding next week. Next Tuesday, he will do the 50s and 60s videos. Absolutely phenomenal. This man is a talent that you need to see. Follow tonight from 9 p.m. till 11. Jimmy E., a Miami Zone DJ Jimmy E., will be playing his heart out as he always does. I mean, it's amazing. I want to thank all of the people that are joining us right now. Please spread the word. Please tell everybody that we exist. That I'm going to run a little longer today because I'm eating up about 12 or 15 minutes of this show. But I want to give the respect to my guest today. And he is sitting very patiently here waiting for me to give you this update. And on this page, you can see there is a donation button. You just click on that donation if you don't mind and help us. This is costing us a lot of money in order to be able to broadcast fully. I mean, without any interruptions aside from the internet. I mean, we can help that. If you have a low bandwidth, we can help you. Okay, you need to have it. But we pay in all the legalities in order for us to play all the music we want and not being muted or interrupted, especially you, the audience, that have the patience and want to hear us, once that you guys want to hear us play. That's beautiful. I mean, really. So, anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I created this legacy hour, and I always going to say it again and again, because we get to know each other really, and to share with our friends and followers stories that you won't find in books. No way in hell you're gonna find stories like the ones you're gonna hear today. The relationships and history that we all share with each other, and those times that we share from the early days, from the inception from our dance music culture. These are stories among friends, and we invite you to listen and enjoy what these iconic, influential individuals have to say. Believe me when I tell you, you heard Roy B yesterday. He was phenomenal. DC LaRue had a great show tonight, yesterday, by the way. But so, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in once again. My name is Luis Mario. Just in case you forget, or me, in case because I having some serious senior moments, that's why my name is somewhere around here.
There it is.
There it is. Okay, just in case I go like, oh yeah, that's right, that's me, right? Yeah. But anyways, guys, I have with me a good friend, a dear friend, as a matter of fact, Chico Starr. That's right, Chico Starr. Okay, and I want him to go back and say, "Welcome, Chico. How you doing, my brother?"
I'm fine, thank you, Luis Mario.
Well, thank
It's
you.
my pleasure.
You look sharp. I mean, I had to, I had to
When I
change
put
my
on a
shirt.
coat.
You know,
I
all of
always put on a coat when I go to an event.
an event, and this is an event.
An event.
Oh, wait, check that out. We just went from just a little whatever you want to call it, the show,
A tete
into
tete.
an event. This is what I'm talking
That's
about.
what it is.
That's what it is, brothers.
Yeah.
Okay, so check it out. You have a lot to say, and let's enjoy that because I want to take you back to the 60s. We all have to go back to the 60s.
Oh,
That's
yes.
when it all happened. This is our history, really. And back in 1967, Chico Starr, I mean, gotta tell you, he was a go-go dancer.
Truth. That's truth. And before we get into it, Luis Mario, I'd like to say
Yeah.
a shout out to the contributors for the following piece.
Very good.
My ex-wife, Monique, now Isis Starr, Peter Castillo, Michael Blaze, Frieder Chrysler Sheldon Peebles, who has provided information on the founding of BATA and its founding members, and is the author of a piece I'll present later on. Also, Joey Crook and Conrad, manager and general manager of the Anvil, which I spoke to several days ago, and another two people, Parvati Villarda, who once in my Uber wanted to film a life portion of me, and we still haven't gotten to that, but she's raring to go whenever we get together. And Louis Nabor, who's an associate professor of musicology at the University of Nevada. He has wanted to speak on the matter as well. And now we can get started.
Well, thank you for that. Jeez. I lost total control of this show now. all
Well,
of
no,
sudden.
it's a back and forth.
No, it's yeah.
I throw it to you, Luis.
yada. Okay, yeah. But let's go back to your go-go days, man. I mean, that is
Okay.
just not just funny, but it's true. As a go-go, he was a Whiskey a Go-Go. You worked at a club called Whiskey a Go-Go then, right?
Actually, I got to work at the club Whiskey a Go-Go, which is a legendary, world-famous, iconic situation back in the 60s. It was the first time go-go was presented, along with Laugh-In on TV and Hee Haw and all those. Those were iconic shows at the time, and it was in San Francisco. Now, I was a go-go boy in several other local bars at the time, and isn't it funny that we all like to go out when we're younger than 21 and finally wind up in a bar performing?
Wow.
It was fantastic.
Yeah.
Anyway, I came in with a friend of mine who is now has his own record pool in Oakland, California. I came in with my friend, and we talked to the manager, and I mentioned that I was a go-go boy. And they said, "Oh, haha." I said, "I'll prove it. I've got my shorts on right now." It was a swimsuit. And so they let me go up into the booth with the girls, and I was actually performing. They asked me to come back for a couple of weeks, and I did that. It was fantastic. It was a lot of fun. It's the first time they had a go-go boy at Whiskey a Go-Go.
Oh boy, that something. That is just amazing. I was never a go-go boy. I wasn't a go-go boy. I just mental picture, me. But I was so skinny. I could never have
I was
done.
skinny.
Yeah, I seen pictures of you being skinny, but I was so skinny.
Oh,
Forget it.
skinnier.
It rained and I never got wet.
Oh,
That's how
yeah.
skinny I was.
Unfortunately, I was too quick for the rain, so.
That's fucking awesome. Oh, excuse me. You can't curse in this thing here.
Well,
Yeah,
what is the
you-
FDA, FDC, FCC around?
No, it's my rule.
Oh, okay. We can't curse. His rule.
It's my
Okay.
rule. I own this thing here, so I
You
make
got to
my
keep it
rules.
clean.
Yeah, I gotta keep it clean. So, all right. So now you're an Americans, and I'm reading this here because there's pages in here that
I
I
sent
need
it to him
go.
handwritten last
yeah.
night. We had trouble because I couldn't type it out, and now he's
He's
ad libbing, and we're ad
gonna
libbing.
bitch slap him later on. Don't
this is
worry
the
about it.
improv show right now. So,
Young Americans, Squire Show Bar in Montreal, Expo 1967. We're still in the late 60s.
yeah, let me explain how that
Yeah,
happened.
sure.
I had auditioned for the Young Americans my senior year in high school, and I made the group. It was a large group of singers, like a choir, and it was coupled with a dance troupe also, and we had an orchestra as well. And as notoriety built around the locality, we were invited to perform at Montreal's Expo 67 in Montreal.
Right.
So we got there. I was a singer in the choir and a star of their pas de deux in the dance routine in the midst of the break that they were having on the show. And that was fantastic. What they didn't know was at night I found out where the only go-go bar was in town. It was the Esquire Show Bar.
Okay.
And I went in there and I asked him if I could dance because I was a Whiskey a Go-Go dance. They heard of Whiskey a Go-Go and they said, oh, let's see what this guy can do. So for the week that I was there, oh, is that for you?
Um,
Sorry, we know that sound.
Keep on.
Okay. For the week that I was there, at night I would moonlight and go out and dance with the girls as the only go-go boy that they had, first go-go boy at the Esquire Show Bar. And at the last day, I came out to find my entire group, the Young Americans, all of them, even the leaders and the band conductor, they were there watching me perform, and they were doing like this. the leaders were going like this, but they smiled because they liked what I was doing. Little gymnastics,
Right,
modern
right.
dancing, and so forth. So it was a great time in '67.
That is great. And in 1967, I left Canada. I was living, prior to that, I was living in Toronto.
Oh, well, that's in the middle of the country.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. But it's Canada.
That's on the
Still,
East
it's
Coast. Yeah,
beautiful.
yeah.
Montreal is gorgeous.
But just think, if we were
But,
any
yeah,
closer, we would have
Well,
crossed.
yeah, you imagine that, but I had a great time in Canada, by the way. Fortunately, but I moved to New York, and it was fun. So 1968 came in, and actually, you returned to San Francisco, right?
Yes, after the expo, we had returned to San Francisco, and I continued to go around the different bars and so forth. 68, I had met some friends that were equally talented. One was from Santa Rosa, California, named Pepper Fox.
Okay.
He was the
All right.
champion city dancer. I was the champion city dancer of San Francisco.
Right.
And we had a lot of other incredibly talented young people that wanted to dance, and we allowed to be in our group. We chose to be in our group because of their zest, their zeal, and their talent. So we had like a little group, and we invented some steps which we now, which should be famous, is called the San Francisco Cha-Cha.
Oh, wow.
I had like 12 or 14 different steps to the cha-cha rhythm
Let's
because
do it.
everybody at the
Cha-cha.
time was doing the cha-cha as a
Yeah.
dance to most of the dance musics. And so that's why we invented the San Francisco cha-cha.
That is amazing. I never heard of the San Francisco Cha-Cha.
When my hips get better, I'll
Wait, whoa.
yeah, when my hips get better, I'll give you an example.
Okay.
It would create a very cool.
It sounds like a plan, man. Sounds like a plan. I love it. The 60s was so much fun. I'm telling you, music and all the things that we did. we would just all sharpen our skills in many ways. I was in high school till the end of the 1969. So,
Oh,
yeah, and I was so engaged. I got to tell you, I wanted to go to the army. Imagine my
wow.
thoughts that now that I say, schmuck, what are you thinking? Because the Vietnam era. See,
Yes.
but some of my friends were more, a little older than me, and they wanted to go to Vietnam. I mean, I wanted to go to Vietnam, and but I didn't finish school. I had to go at night, so I
Uh,
finished high school at night. Imagine that. That saved me big time. And in
good.
those 3 months, hello, DJ, and became, my profession really, really
That's
quick.
amazing because you
Yeah,
jump right from there into DJing.
and yeah,
For
it
me, it
went
was a
from high
different
school.
journey,
Yeah,
but I was
but
amongst.
yeah, but you have that creativity. I love that about you because you were creative, you were doing your thing,
I was fast.
yeah, that was I love that dancer, a go dancer, and all of that stuff.
I was a
I
singer
mean,
too, but I didn't get a chance to do any
no,
professional singing at the time because I was always dancing, go. But then with the pas de deux, my ex-wife, which we'll get to her in the next segment, which starts right
yeah.
now.
Okay,
Okay,
that's great. So I just wanted to hold on a second. Let me just I'm
sure.
back. Um, I'm sorry, I'm talking to my guy, my engineer, right now. So San Francisco in 1968 to 70, performance artists, drag singers, dance guest dancers. I mean, you have a tremendous amount of stuff going, but on stage,
Yes,
which is wonderful. You continue that all the way
that was
till
my zeal in life. That was my point in life.
right.
That was my existence, is to perform on
Mhm.
stage. And the reason that I wanted to perform was to make people smile, to make people happy. That's the reason I did anything as a performer,
Well,
whether
that's
it be dancer, singer,
yeah,
then later on DJing.
right.
I loved to make the music that made them move.
But we're gonna get to that in a
Oh,
few
okay,
minutes
okay.
because we have to talk about all of this kind of early on. I mean, there's a reason why you took the time to actually write all of this, and I want to pay respect
Thank you.
to what you have given me. And you have wrote a lot of things in here that your handwriting I can't make too much.
Well,
But
let me.
go back to this area right here that you mentioned. What is that about?
Okay.
You mentioned a seed.
Okay, let's 68 to 70. As a performer artist, I was a guest dancer before I went to Broadway in San Francisco, North Beach. I was a guest dancer at the Stuttgart Ballet. I auditioned and got a small part in San
Right.
Francisco to do that. And I created and hosted an on-stage all-star interview show
Mhm.
with live performances of local talent at the Orpheum Theater. Later on, in that time period, to 68, 69, I met my wife at the Big Basket.
Hmm.
Her name was Monique at the time.
Okay.
And so here's a little something about the Big Basket.
Monique. And Monique became Isa Star.
Yes, she did.
Okay.
Uh, the okay. Surprisingly, a lot of visitors from across the nation came to immerse themselves as part of our gay mecca in San Francisco. International guests also dropped through. I and a fabulous group of exceptional dancers, performing artists, and we were stunningly attired, would literally swirl through most of the bars nightly, culminating in a fashionably late arrival at the after hours of San Francisco called the Big Basket. Wherever you were, your night's experience was not complete until you got there. Then it was showtime, replete with its ample sustenance of burgers and fries and a dreamy, creamy milkshake in your favorite flavor. If we'd separated at any point in the night, we'd all, at the right time, descend down those fabled staircases, one by one, deftly tossing our entrance garments, capes, coats, and fur to the maitre d', Big Steve, by the way,
Ooh.
who was also the chef.
Okay.
And he twirled to catch each one and literally and skillfully hang our garb. That was worth the price of admission. And the DJ always recognized the commotion and put on our music as we. I could almost read that. As we entered the dance floor, it looked like a roller rink
Yeah.
with 8 different entrances. With one to the door, we would throw our coats
Okay.
and walk right to the dance floor and swirl and twirl. And it was amazing. And then we would sit down to our booth, which is in the center, always reserved. And the night would go incredible.
Beautiful. I'm sure it was. I'm sure it was, Chico. I mean, really, that great memories from your days before becoming a DJ.
Yes.
Okay. So, shy of the, the 70s. 70s came in really incredibly fast. Broadway with Monique between 70 and 70, what, 71?
71, 71 and a half, something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Monique and I met, and then we got married in Lake Tahoe.
Okay.
And we had danced together for that year and a
You guys
half.
have any kids?
No, we never were able to have any kids. So.
Okay. Well, you guys were busy on the stage,
Yes, we were busy.
so that was yeah. And then you continue, return tell me a little bit about the time that you, Viva, what's it, Marlene Pendleton.
Or Marlene Pendleton.
Yeah.
Okay. To go back on Monique, we had performed at the El Cid on Broadway in San Francisco, where I created a 6-member. That's the note. Okay. A 6-member review, 15 minutes, to start with her, myself, and 4 other girls in a 15-minute routine that I created and choreographed. That was at the El Cid. Now, what happened after we finished our shows there, I auditioned for Marlena Pendleton's Viva La Boys in Las Vegas,
Yeah.
but in San Francisco.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Then she selected, I think it was me, to accompany her and meet other people that she had auditioned from different regions, different states, and so forth.
Right. Well, that's beautiful. And then in 1975, you were still not a DJ yet. In 75, in between the transfer, I was reunited with Fox.
Pepper Fox, yes.
And in 75, very talented friends, I'm sure. What were they doing? Or what were you doing in that time, 75?
Okay, in 1975, I was recruited and reunited with Pepper Fox and some of our closest, very talented friends. And we were choreographed and produced by one of Broadway's famed choreographers, Mr. Joel Noble.
Okay.
And it was for a show at the Aladdin Hotel called Red, Hot, and Blue. We did that show for a time, and then we got back to San Francisco, and that's when my cousin from Denver, Colorado, decided he wanted me to take a break and come there to relax. So I went there. And
To relax.
to relax. So what happened in there is I actually created a DJ situation in the Brew, which is a 3-2 beer bar, I guess for younger people.
Okay.
And I had them set up turntables and got a mixer. I didn't even know how to do it. I just know you needed 2 turntables and a way to switch it back and forth. I asked for a microphone and a stand because everything I'd done before then was showtime. Like a FM radio jock, the way they would
All right.
introduce the songs,
Yeah.
outro, intro, so forth, and segue. Even with my own commercials, I would do that. So that's what happened when I
Okay.
went there. I
right.
was at the Brew for about a year and a half or so.
And 75, yeah, that's okay. So we're talking about 75, and music was rich, was absolutely wonderful. 1975 was the transition was going on. The Philadelphia sound was out there. Music was changing. A lot of product, a lot of record pulls. 75 was Now the record pool just went across because 75 was when the first record pool opened with David Mancuso in New York City. So obviously the whole country followed with the record pools. There was no other record pool in the planet until David decided to do that. So how did you pick up your product?
Oh, okay. Well, from Denver, Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
My sister was getting married in San Francisco and was invited me to come sing at her wedding, which was, I believe, in 1973. So I came home, and my celebrity allowed me to go to the Rendezvous because there was a vacancy, and asked them if I could be a DJ there to pick up the slack because I was a DJ in Denver. So they let me do that.
Right.
And as I was there, Chrysler mentioned something here. Do you want to read that?
Well, okay, if you want me to. It says Chico Starr, all caps. The major DJ of the downtown region. Chico was the reigning, what? Doyen? Doyen.
It's a French term. I don't even know, but I'm guessing it means
he's
the
asking
guy.
me to do a French word. Okay, of the Rendezvous downtown premier night spot.
It wasn't the reservoir. It was the rendezvous.
I said rendezvous. I didn't say reservoir.
Oh, my God. I'm having a senior moment. Okay.
You heard it, and I have it recorded. I never said reservoir. I said rendezvous. Downtown premier night spot. The rendezvous was very diverse, and it boasted a significant Asian presence. In fact, it was the only place in San Francisco where that very large population was not discriminated against and felt welcome. That's wonderful to know.
Yes.
I credit Chico and the Rendezvous for breaking the monster hit record Get Dancy by Monty Rock. Jesus
Monty
Christ.
Rock and the third.
So,
yeah.
okay, Monty Rock. And Monty Rock the third. Okay, so you did something already. Now starting to put your 2 cents into the whole pot.
Okay.
All right.
Well, yeah, once I had started working at the Rendezvous,
Yeah.
not the Reservoir.
Did you meet Monty?
No.
No. You just got the record and
yeah,
you broke
back
it?
then we didn't. We had to go to see the show. They wouldn't come around. It was earlier yet. They didn't do the promotions. I just saw the record. I loved it, and I played it, and it exploded. So it was great.
Yeah. Funny, Monty Rock the third came out from left field. We got to talk about it because I got to talk about it because I mean, you know, wait. Yeah, the thing is that right after that, I mean, okay, so you had to Get Dance. It was cute. It was great.
Yeah,
great
it's a good
song.
dancing record. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, Saturday Night Fever came up. You know, Saturday Night Fever. All of a
Oh
sudden,
yes.
there you see a disc jockey.
Finally.
And guess who it was? Monty Rock. and to tell you the truth, DJs did not talk on the microphone.
Not at that point, but when I was DJing,
no.
we
That
did.
was like I know to do.
I did.
And here is a
And
DJ.
made it work.
With a nightclub that would have thrown you out. In New York City, you never did that.
I was in San
And this
Francisco at
was
the time.
well, this is in Brooklyn, the 2001 Space Odyssey, where a friend of ours worked there, and they took him out, I guess, and they put somebody like Monty Rock and he was your mommy, whatever the heck, you know, and people thought that that's what DJs did. And we did it. In my case, I got to tell the truth.
It's true.
That, you know,
the DJs basically didn't.
the nightclub was you
Nightclubs
go
was
on at 9
different.
o'clock, turn the lights down, get the music going, you shut the freak up, you put your music down, you make the people dance.
No, that was in
and
New York.
Even
It was different in San Francisco,
well,
and especially
yeah.
for me. I was the only
Anywhere
one.
else. This is why New York is
Now
New York.
that's true. He's saying the truth. I was an exception to the rule.
And there are a lot of people in the microphones and they go crazy.
They
on
don't
the
know what they're
I
doing.
say, shut up. hell?
They don't know what they're doing.
They don't know what the hell they use. You wanted to overlap them. Yeah, I can
was
stand it.
the only
And,
DJ in San Francisco that was using that radio
Yeah. Wow.
format, and successfully too,
Yeah.
I might add, which allowed me
Yeah.
attention and notoriety to get to the attention of John Hedges, the father of Bata, and be accepted as one of the founding members.
Even when the bouncer came up and says there's hands a DJ a little note says there's a car double parked outside, it's gonna be towed away. Can you please announce this? I said, nope, I ain't gonna do that. Let them tow the
Well, you
car
don't do
away.
it like
You know,
that.
but you know what I'm saying? Microphones are like a note.
That's if you don't know how to use one.
You know, you
in
got to have
the
that
live
But anyway,
aspect of
listen,
performance.
we can argue here from now till another
We don't
freaking
have
day.
that kind of time.
Yeah, no, I do.
Yeah, okay,
And
you
I'm,
do.
but anyway, but check it out, Chico. This is a lot of fun. I understand all of that. So now here you come into the 1977. You left with another dear friend.
Yes.
Who was that friend?
He was Ricky. His name was Ricky Ybarra, and
Uh-huh.
he'd become a DJ in some clubs in Frisco. But then he moved away prior to that to New York and became a very well known DJ. Now in '77, he came back. Excuse me, for about a week.
Right.
And during that week, he had spoken to me about following him,
Yeah.
getting in the car and driving back to New York. And I said, well, let me check with my girlfriend at the time. It was Nikki Knight. She was a beauty. And so I decided to go, and we left San Francisco April the 1st, 1977.
Wonderful.
And we traveled across country, till about, it was April the 8th, we finally got to Manhattan. But we spent 2 days in Chicago.
All right.
And we didn't mean to spend 2 days in Chicago, but Chicago was so fantastic.
Oh.
I wanted to stay there if I could have. But
Yeah.
because he had to go, I said, okay, I'll go with you. But I love Chicago. The music was fantastic. The people were fantastic. The look of the place reminded me of parts of San Francisco and parts of things that I hadn't seen yet.
Yeah.
So it was incredible.
Yeah.
And I used my Bata membership card to get into the largest disco at the time without paying cover charge. I said, hi, I'm a board member with the Bata record pool in San Francisco. Do you mind giving us a little courtesy and allowing us to come in? They said, oh, sure. We actually came in. They led us to the booth, me and my friend. So we were in the booth. I met the DJ, but I know how it is. So we met the DJ, and we just left and just had a good time listening to it. But that was...
What was the name of the club?
I don't remember.
Oh, come on.
It was the biggest club there.
Jesus.
In
In San Francisco, what year?
It was 1977.
Okay. So
I tried to look it up, but so many
In
things I was looking up to
Chicago.
verify. In Chicago.
Yeah, okay.
It was huge.
Okay.
Maybe I should talk to my friend that's DJing now. Maybe he'll know
All right.
that history.
Okay, so, I agree. Chicago has
fantastic.
in those days anyways. Now it's a mess. But, there's so many cities like San Francisco. I mean, I love San Francisco.
Oh, back in the day,
I
it was
just
the
love
best
San
place to be.
Francisco. Yeah, no, it's for just about everything from the hippie era.
Oh, from the
all
hippie era
yeah,
on, yes.
on, and it was the city to be. You're absolutely right. And so you came in '77, and then all of a sudden, what happened when you came to New York?
Oh, New York? Okay, 1977, we're driving up to the George Washington Bridge, and I said, I got to mark this in my mind, and looked at the time. It was 12:38 p.m.
That you remember. But he don't remember the freaking club in Chicago.
A club is the club is the club is the club. I'm using my New York accent, you know.
So you remember exactly the time that
Yeah,
you
because
were crossing.
I was making a move.
A move, okay.
You know, it was like a changing of the guard. It was a new event, a chapter in my life.
Okay.
It was incredible. And we got across the bridge, and I smelled New York.
You smelled New York.
And you know what they say?
You were coming through the East River. Yeah, you're definitely going to.
Trust me, when you go to New York, you get used to it. But when you leave New York and you come back, you know you're in New York, even if you're sleeping in the back seat of the car with the window open, which happened to me one time on a road trip.
Okay.
I smell. Are we in New York yet? He said, yes, we're in New York. New York is remarkable with its aromas.
Yeah, that in those days probably yeah, a lot of garbage piled up in the streets and so on and so forth. Yeah, I went through it all, man. I went through that, but there is a certain thing that we all feel. All of you who know New York and coming from other states. When you come to New York, there is something that stays within you
Yes.
and will never leave that feeling that you get. So you time it, and it was what 12 what
12:38 p.m.
12:38 p.m. And you were crossing the George Washington.
Yes, just at the beginning of the
my
George Washington
neighborhood.
Bridge.
That was my neighborhood. I lived in
You're
Washington
kidding.
Heights.
That was fantastic.
Washington Heights, man, 163rd Street.
If I'd known that, I'd have brought out a toot toot beep beep.
Beep beep, and they
Toot toot beep beep like Donna Summer.
There
right?
were bullets flying all over the place in those days.
I don't think we took that street.
Washington
we went the other way.
Heights, if you guys remember. Woo! Crazy days. So, yeah, man, I moved out of Washington Heights because of that particular problem. Because I was working nights and I would come home and it was crazy.
Oh, my
You know,
gosh.
it was crazy, yeah. In those days, the Jewish people and the Italian people moved out of that era. I mean, that area, and the Dominican people came into to take over.
Okay.
And that whole thing just changed. The whole culture changed in that. Became Spanish Harlem now, all the way from
Yeah.
116th Street all the way up. And that's how it happened. So you arrived in New York, and then what happened? What did you do?
Well, I met some friends of mine that had moved a year back and stayed with them. And they said, well, you have to make some money some kind of way. So once again, I was a go-go boy, 27 years old, in one of the little burlesque places around there. That worked for a good 2 or 3 months. And then I was introduced to a place that I wound up being the DJ, the Anvil.
Oh wow, the Anvil. Yeah, yeah. I recall the Anvil. I never went there, but I do remember the Anvil.
We were at Studio Ice Palace 57 on 57th Street. And they said, we're going to walk because there's no taxis. Well, it was waist high. We actually walked from 57th Street to 14th Street in waist-deep snow.
Yeah, done it. Been there, done that.
And then
Not doing it again.
we got in there, and I fell in love. It was a kaleidoscope
Yeah.
of wonder.
Were you doing acid or something that you fell in love with that?
No, we had been drinking, though.
No.
And the lights would get you, man. When they hit you in the eye a couple times,
Yeah.
you think you're on acid. Like, oh, what?
Yeah,
Whoa,
yeah,
what's
yeah.
that?
Yeah. Nice city to trip onto back in the day.
Well, I was introduced to the manager, and I said, I was introduced, and he said, well, this is my friend. He's a great dancer, dude. You want to hire him? And he had me do an audition, so I was hired as a dancer first. But I told him I was a DJ. He said, okay, we'll come in the afternoon and spin some music, and we'll see if we can put you on. So I did, came in the afternoon, and I
Yeah.
passed.
Yeah.
I did not know how to mix records yet.
Ooh.
I did it with my San Francisco technique, but without the microphone.
Ooh.
It was a slip cue disco.
Well,
Everything was slip cue.
Slip cue is the original technique.
That
As
was my
it used to be
technique.
called changes. There was no mixing involved in those days.
No, it was slip
In
cue.
the early days. By 77, Paul Casella had already...
Well, a lot of them did,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
my mentor at the Anvil when I started DJing was Larry Rossiello. He knew how to mix, and he taught me how to mix records, how to overlay, how to beat them properly, phrase them with the proper 16 beat to an 8 beat. You don't do the first 8 beat or else it's off time. You let the 8 beat go by, you put the 8 beat intro on the last 8 beats of the 16 on the prior, and then when it comes in, the audience doesn't know the change because it can go from a 32 count Alex Constantino's Romeo and Juliet to an 8 count lead in, and they won't know the change because they hear and the rhythm of the songs already adjust. They're not adjusted.
Yeah, you have to know how to adjust it.
Yeah,
Otherwise, you become a train wreck. I mean,
if you don't
yeah,
do it,
yeah,
if you mix off
yeah,
phrase, people
right.
go. They come say, "What? Why'd you put it in there?" They wouldn't have said it if you waited, and it
Yeah.
came right on the boom, and then it starts a new thing. The mind changes. The dance keeps going. They go like, ah. I can't do it, but
Yeah, but yeah, you're right. But it was never change, never mix a record on vocals, never. That's taboo. You never,
really,
never, never
is that
mix
what
a
they
record on
said?
taboo. No, you let the vocals end. You don't want to cut any
Oh, that
vocals.
yes, of
That is
course.
also one of the
That
most important
that's part of the
things.
phrasing.
Yeah.
Well, your vocal phrase ends, then
You
you
let
can
the, oh, I
sure.
love you, and you mix it instead of, oh, I love, what? Wait, wait, what?
Exactly,
What?
exactly.
So anyways, Danny Pucciarelli should be able to tell you a few stories like
I'm
that.
sure. Hey,
Not
Dan, how you doing?
kidding. Yeah, he's gonna be on soon. But anyways, that is a great thing. I mean, so once again, I mean, as a disc jockey, was the club providing you with a product?
No. What happened is, as I was using Larry Rossiello's records plus mine, because he felt that I was worthy enough to
Mm.
use it, and I already knew how to take care of them well. He made
Very
sure
good. He said the magic
take care of
word.
the record. He knew
You
that
don't allow anybody to freaking touch your
because
records.
unless you make sure they know how to treat
No
them.
fingerprints on the vinyl. You have to know how to use the vinyl.
Yes, take it up.
You
Boom.
take a label, finger label to the edge of
Like
the record.
this.
You put it there. I see a lot
Or
of DJs touching the vinyl. I can't
I
stand that.
can't either. I said, what are you doing? 10 years from now, you're not going to be able to play it. You're going to get a lot of and in it. You know, I'm loving this. This is good, right?
Yeah. No, it is. It is. It's to this day, you can go through pull any record out of this incredible library.
You should see it on this side.
Mint condition. They were played to death. All right, they were played to death. So I'm proud of that. I'm proud, very proud that I know. So
More
what
about the anvil.
Mhm.
When I got there, there was a Monday, Tuesday slot, which John, I'm smiling for the picture. His name was John, and he played not too great, rather poorly actually,
Yeah.
at first, and I took over his spot. Larry usually carried Wednesday through Saturday and Sunday, and Richie Rivera.
Yeah, the great Richard Rivera.
Yes,
Yeah.
he would play there on
Certainly.
Fridays.
Yeah,
On
yeah.
Fridays.
Right.
So when John had left, I took over Monday and Tuesday, and I was playing. I got a following. People started coming in, more popular. They, oh, this guy's pretty good. And with Larry's help, I learned how to overlay, which was important because that helped me to create the technique that I went on
Well,
to use.
yeah,
Now,
yeah,
here's the thing. There was a time there, shortly thereafter, where Richie Rivera quit the Anvil.
Okay.
And Larry had to fill in the Friday. Well, Larry and Conrad, by the way, is the general manager of the Anvil. Larry and Conrad had some kind of falling out, and he left. So all of a sudden, Wednesday through Sunday was open. Guess who had to take over? Me.
All right.
I was playing at the Anvil 7 days a week for a couple of months. It was hard and a little difficult to change the program night to night to make it different and fresh. I had to do a Friday, a Saturday, and
Yeah.
fun days and so forth. So Conrad had come to me and says, well, you're working really hard and you're doing very well, but would you like to get somebody else to help you out here? So I said, yeah. As a matter of fact, I knew a DJ named Lance Wise who was playing at Uncle Paul's just a couple blocks up the street.
Okay.
and I was so amazed with him, and he introduced Billy Joe's eyes, Billy Betty Davis
Oh,
eyes.
Betty Davis
Billy
eyes.
Joe, who was that? Betty
I
Davis
know
eyes. Seen
Billy
him on
Joel
my
has eyes, but he
Betty
didn't.
Davis eyes. He
Betty
introduced to
Davis
me,
eyes. I say
and I loved
okay.
it, and I got it, and I played it,
Uh
and
huh.
so we got him down there. But in the meantime, I had joined Judy Weinstein's For the Record Club
Okay. All right. So you became into Judy's pretty
record
much
pool.
one of the better record pools there were
And
in
it's funny though because
Eddie Rivera.
Eddie Rivera had come through the club and he says, "Come by and say hello when you're up in
Sure.
that area."
Hmm.
I came by. He used to give me product, even though I wasn't a part of his club, and it was different product than what I got with Judy,
Hmm.
because he knew that I dabbled with that kind of product as well.
What's that? The Alvin Gay Bar?
The Anvil was a all male bar.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a gay bar,
Okay. All right.
and so there was a lot of things I played that or we played at the Anvil that covered the spectrum, but Eddie Rivera would give me records that would and take over take account of the R&B aspect and so forth. So
Yeah, yeah, he had a lot of the DJs, and I was part of IDRC,
yeah,
Eddie Rivera, but I was getting my product obviously from straight from the promoters. I kept the relationship, I would say about 90%, and but I was touring, so I was getting a lot of the
sent to
mailing
you.
from, yeah, I always did, and then I used to get a box from IDRC.
He was
It
incredible,
was
Eddie.
yeah, but
Yeah,
the product was different based upon the fact that the DJs were more R&B ish, and Judy Weinstein had more of the gay community into it,
yeah,
and
a
there
lot of
was the high
strings, a lot of Euro
energy.
disco.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
also got the rap when it came out. Curtis Blow, Run DMC. We also got the Whispers, sweet R&B. We got sweet
yeah,
R&B.
sure.
Back in Love Again. Da, ba, da, 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 da. So we had that and we played that. But I liked a lot of different things, and so that's why we went shopping. We went to got imports and so forth. But Eddie gave me a couple of records,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
sometimes he'd take me on the
Even though
field trips
you,
they
yeah,
went to. That
even
was
though
so fantastic.
you were part of the record pool,
He said we all
that
have to be
yeah,
together. We
yeah,
all have to be together, Eddie Rivera,
yeah.
and I so appreciate
The
him
man was
being warm.
one of the nicest people I met.
Sure.
Visionary, a guy who saw an opportunity once David Mancuso stopped there at 99 Prince Street and Judy Weinstein split. Obviously, he closed it down. Judy went for the record and Eddie went for IDRC.
IDRC.
But he saw the opportunity because there was a tremendous amount of DJs then by 1977. That's when David said,
Yes.
"Enough! I had enough." He had enough of this
Sure.
record pull thing, and I don't blame him because it took a lot of energy to handle 300 plus disc jockeys with attitudes and egos. I
And
got to tell you,
personalities. I was going to say personality, but that's
I
just
mean,
an egos.
that was
Yes.
everybody had an ego the size of Texas, and everybody thought just because I'm playing and whatever, you know. They thought they who they were,
Yeah.
they have a DJ, all of
I
a sudden,
remember those guys.
yeah, yeah.
But along with all of that product, there was a situation I was introduced to by Captain Mike Wilkinson. It was called DiscoNet.
Oh, disconnect, yeah, sure,
And
absolutely, yeah.
he loved to come by the Anvil,
Mm.
and he loved the way I played things, the way I mixed them up on the turntable. He just wanted me to mix up some stuff with him.
Mm.
So I said, okay. And I remember one of my favorite mixes with him was Diana Ross's No One Gets the Prize.
Okay.
Now, I just learned how to phase records, which is using two records and countering them just a little bit to
Yeah,
create a
the
little distance.
waving and all that kind of stuff.
It's
Yeah,
called it's like an airplane, a jet plane taking off.
yeah. That you play
Yeah,
the same record on top of each other.
that's
You
right.
just like a fraction of a second in front or the back, and you can
That's
do
right.
all kinds of stuff like that. Yeah.
That's true. Well, I had incorporated all those tricks into No One Gets the Prize.
Mm.
And it was a fantastic record.
It sure is a great song. Great, absolutely great song.
And he asked me to
You
do a
know,
couple of other things, and
yeah.
I really
So
appreciate it.
you do have a record out with your name on Disconnect,
Oh, yes, two or three, I think.
two or three, and you own those records?
I don't.
Because I know I have a collection of
I don't
Disconnect.
own them, but my name is on there as I play.
Right.
I DJ the record. So, no, I don't own it.
No. How do you
Oh.
mean by owning it? I meant because I have Disconnect
Oh, sure.
collection.
Sure.
So I should definitely look for Chico Starr's name on that.
Yes.
So
You know,
heard
Jerry,
it, yeah.
Jerry Joseph Arco from L.A., he had done a Facebook thing and had introduced one of my DiscoNet records on Facebook. And I was like, what? And he said some kind things and so forth. And I contacted him and said, thank you very much. But it was just so amazing to see somebody thought enough of my work to advertise it, to put it up to
Why
feature
not?
it.
But why not? I
'Cause
mean, I like that.
I didn't play for the fame. I played.
Well, no.
Yeah.
You were
Wait a minute.
You're so humble about that.
Wait a minute. I get it now. There is a young man, Bobby, somebody that I recently friended on Facebook, and he told me that he always puts a record to a DJ, the favorite record or the record that suits a DJ, what he was. And he gave me one of my favorite records at the Anvil. It was James Wells' My Claim to
My Claim to
Fame
Fame, yeah.
Is Your Love for Me.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
the driving force of how I
Excellent
did
song. I mean, a lot of people
it. I
don't
like the flip
remember
side
that.
too. True Love is
Oh,
My
yeah,
Destiny.
yes.
Oh,
True Love is my
try to
destiny.
play that at -6.
I love that record.
But I never
Yeah.
played it at speed. I
Very
always played it real
low.
slow.
The recording of that record, they should
I
redo that.
pitched it down.
that
Trust me,
because
it works.
because that song is recorded so low
Oh man,
that when you are playing it, you have to remember to bring the level higher because the record will just fade. It will be low. But it's
unless you're going
awesome.
that way.
Yeah, true that. But as far as the level of the sound, I mean, I'm talking about.
Oh, the level of the sound, yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, this is excellent. I love what you are listening to. By the way, to the L.O.V. is the Message Legacy Hour, with my guest today, DJ Chico Starr, and I am very happy to have you here, my friend. Give me your thoughts about what do you think about what's going on nowadays? Let's go out of this situation. Let me
Okay.
talk about the DJ situation. How do you see the us coming back? Do you think that their clubs will go back to normal? What do you think about that?
I think the first thing to point out is that vinyl has been known to be on the return.
Yes, I love that.
So
Thank you.
that is the one ingredient needed for a DJ
Yeah.
to perform.
Thank God I never sold my collection.
Remember, I told you not to sell it.
Yeah, you're right. Many years ago, many moons ago. But I actually did a stupid thing about, I don't think, 6, 8 years ago.
Or 10.
That I,
Who's counting?
I sold my acetates. 90% of my acetates I
What?
sold. Yeah, man. I got rid of my acetates. And, but I got a fair price from a good guy up in the Netherlands,
That's good.
Disco Patrick. Disco Patrick got
Hello,
my
Disco
stuff.
Patrick.
Yeah, Disco Patrick.
Send some of
yeah.
those back, please.
Let me tell you, man, my heart bleeds every time.
Everybody's
I
talking
remember
about acetates now.
that. Yeah, man.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, I know. I'm not gonna buy anything. I mean, I'm not buying any more records. But that's what happened. So, but I stopped, and now that I have this radio thing, I'm able to dig into some of these shelves and play some stuff that I haven't heard in so many
yeah.
moons.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know.
That's a great
But
thing.
ladies and gentlemen, this is a great thing that I hope you enjoy. And I know we have some internet issues today, but it will be posted so you guys can watch this again. It will be on demand. And I want to thank Chico Starr. Unless you have something else to say, please be my guest. Say anything to close the segment.
Well, I want to give a shout out to Chrysler Sheldon for
Oh, I thought he was going to say Chrysler. It's like all of a sudden,
Chrysler
he said, wait a
Incorporated,
minute. Hey, a potential sponsor. Okay.
Chrysler took the time to delineate and print out a summation of the founders of the BADA, Bay Area Disco DJ Association. And in it, he has a little synopsis of everyone in the founding members of them. And he himself, in 1973, began spinning and was the first DJ at the Stud, a dance hall that really embraced dance music before it was popular and chic. So I just wanted to do that. Chrysler, thank you so
And
much.
also, I want to like to remind everybody that, for the past, I would say, year or if not a little longer than that, we've been trying to get to San Francisco. And this is a fact. It's been in my heart for such a long time. And I created the board of directors for San Francisco, who includes Chico Starr, a wonderful DJ like Bob Miro, Bobby Vitoriti, and
Rico Casanova.
Rico Casanova, but he is from another record pool who I just found out in it's called the Pros. So a big shout out to Rico, and and this is not really going to stop. Oh, also Frank Core is also part
That's
of
right.
this board of directors, and we have really collected a lot of information. A big shout out to Steve Favors out there in San Francisco as well, and what's his name, Danny Dorman.
Danny Dorman. We would like
Danny
to say
Dorman,
hi,
I want
Danny.
to say hi because all of these people are waiting for us to go. But unfortunately, for what happened, and this is something that is out of our, how can I say,
Control.
control, really. But we are definitely on the move. The first opportunity that we can regroup, we are definitely have to come back to
Address
the
the San
project
Francisco.
of San Francisco because
Yes.
it is important for us to go to the West Coast. I get a lot of email from people saying, "Hey, how about us? I mean, come on, you're forgetting about us," and that's not the truth. It's just that we can't at this moment. Okay,
Yes.
so right, so we're on the
That's-
same page on that,
We are
right?
definitely on the same page. And don't forget that we, as Legends of Vinyl DJs, love the fact that you enjoy what we have done. It gives us great pleasure to
Right.
be the ones you chose to entertain you. Thank you.
Well said, my brother. Well said, because that's one of the reasons why we still, even in my late 60s, we're still
You're
trying
60?
to. Can you believe that?
No, my,
Can you
my.
freaking believe
I
that?
couldn't believe it.
I'm closer to death than anything else. But we're still at it. We're still, trying to bring to you the best that we have because we are the pioneers. We are the risk takers. We are the innovators. We are the DJs who paved the way to what this dance music culture has become. It's unfortunate that it's gone downhill because of some promoters and producers and whatever, they just don't have the talent
There's some haters out
anyway.
there.
It's unbelievable, let me tell you. But we persist, and consistency is everything. Also, we're going to continue to bring you the best entertainment ever. The best is yet to come. And stay tuned because a lot of things are happening. I just talked to in a conference called to Europe. Our brothers and sisters from Italy are ready to join our visionary haven, the Visual Radio, and soon enough I will announce it. So it's on the works.
That's going to be
Uh,
fantastic.
it's going to be awesome. So we are
Wow.
looking to do all kinds of stuff like that. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in this afternoon. And I hope that you stay tuned for more music. Interest, and we're going to start playing 24/7 soon enough. I want to thank Ernie Lombardi, our tech guy, our tech friend, for being there for all of us.
Thank you,
All
Ernie.
of the new members that are coming forward. We have Tony Cintorino soon coming with his own show. Eddie Serrano. Next week is going to be starting his own show. Issy Sanchez, check it out. DC LaRue is going to every Friday. DC LaRue brings his live memories, live
Must see TV.
wonderful, wonderful songs. It doesn't always have to be the same thing. We need to bring everything that we know. Latin music, jazz music, disco music, R&B
And
music,
the new
Motown.
Deep House. We love Deep House.
Absolutely, soulful, and all of that kind of stuff you're going to be listening to here in the Legends of Vinyl Visual Radio, the Visionary Haven. Having said that, ladies and gentlemen, until next time, next week, remember, L.O.V. is the message.
And in the meantime, have a good time till the next time we meet.
And now we're going to wait for 45 seconds so this thing fades out because it's a delay. I will be editing this
Oh,
thing here
it's-
because we already say goodbye.
Okay.
So, you can go, you can do anything you want right now because it's going to be edited.
He says it's not going to be in it, but watch.
It's not.
It'll be in the blooper reel.
In the bloopers.
Go to YouTube,
In
right?
the bloopers. Yeah, no, bro.
Well,
Let's
this-
check it out. Yeah,
this-
no, all
I've-
of this is not going
I've
to
been
be on.
shedding hair waiting for this interview.
Really?
I didn't know where it was going to go. I was going like, "Arr!" Even today when I spoke to you on the phone, and I was a little late.
Yeah, you
Oh,
can't
my
be
God.
late with me, my brother. You know,
Well, you know, like Lolita-
I run a tight
That's
ship
true.
here.
Well, you know,
Yeah.
like Lolita Holloway says, I always say,
What she
I
say?
may not be there when you want me, but I'm right on time. But